Got some solid stuff for you this morning. All right. Just a few things. So I want to bring you up to speed. Once again, good morning. If you're not following me, go right ahead and follow me. If you're not following me, go right ahead and click follow. If you're not following me, go right ahead and click follow. We got a solid session this morning. I'm not sure how many of you have been following the news, but if you're on here and you owe student loans, you may be able to get those loans forgiven as well. That's just some news. With the borrower defense that's just happened recently, essentially is student loan forgiveness. So there is over $7.9 billion that was discharged in student loans. So with that being said, there are 690,000 people that's going to benefit from that $7.9 billion that has been discharged. And there's also a pending settlement for another $7.5 billion. That's also going to benefit another 264,000 people. So the best way to do it, there's a list of colleges and universities. Most of them were for-profit institutions that is on that list. So you want to go to studentaid.gov. So to see if you're a part of that, you want to go to student. So go to student aid. So go to studentaid.gov. Okay. That's where you want to go / You want to go to studentaid.gov and then you're going to go borrower, borrower, defense. Okay. DEFENSE. So again, with the borrower defense that just happened, $7.9 billion in student loans have been discharged. So you have 690,000 people that's going to benefit from that. There's another pending settlement for another $7.5 billion. And that's going to benefit another 264,000 people. So in order to see if you're a part of that you'll qualify, go to studentaid.gov / borrower-defense and go check it out to see if you're one of the individuals that's going to benefit from that. Here's the thing. Here are certain things that's going to happen. If you're a part of this group, if you're on the list of universities and colleges that was a part of it, and there's a lot of them on that list, I mean a lot. What that means, 100% of your student loan is going to be forgiven. 100% of your student loan will be forgiven. If you made any payments toward the student loan, it's going to be given back to you. It's going to be returned back to you. In addition to that, if you defaulted or you were late on paying that student loan, it's also going to be removed from your credit report as well. Okay, so that's what that means. Again, with the borrower defense, there is $7.9 billion that is going to impact 690,000 people. So you have $7.9 billion impacting 690,000 borrowers. And then you also have another $7.5 billion settlement that is pending as well. And that's going to impact another 264,000 borrowers. What that means, if you paid any money on the student loan, it's going to come back to you. It's going to come back. Okay. Number one. Number two, if you qualify in this group, it's going to be 100% forgiven. Okay. 100% forgiven. That's in the news. This is current news. In addition to that, if you have any negative items on your credit due to being a part of this list, all of that is going to be removed as well. Removed from your credit report. Okay? All right. So hopefully you got some value out of that, but keep that in mind. Go to studentaid.gov / borrower-defense. All right? So that's the first thing we want to talk about. So hopefully you got that so far. If you're not following me, go right ahead and click follow. If you want to take a screenshot of that, do it right now. Let me get into the information. But I got some powerful information for you this morning based on questions that I've been getting. All right. So here's what I want to do this morning. I want to dive into this because of questions I've been getting. I want to dive into business credit. Okay, let's talk about business credit because I'm getting a lot of questions about this. How many people on here are business owners? Do you have a business? If you have a business, put a money symbol in the chat. Do you have a business? Do you have a business? Who are the business owners? Do you have an LLC? Do you have an S corp? Do you have a C corp? Do you have any of these organizations? And maybe you have a DBA, or maybe you have a holding company, a holding or mother company. Do you have any of these businesses? Who on here has any of this? Or maybe you are a 1099 independent. Maybe you're a 1099 independent contractor. Anybody who on here has businesses? Anybody on here has businesses? Because I've been getting a lot of questions about this. I've dived into it, but it can never be too much. So let's get it. Let's get it. Now, the main reason for having business credit. Why is this important? Because you have 46% of small businesses, 46% of small businesses, what they do, they run their business with their personal credit. Now, here's the issue with that. When you do that, and speaking from experience, when you run your business with your personal credit, most people do it because they don't have access. They don't have access to capital. Okay? They don't have access to capital or access to funding. That's really why most people do this. Okay? But the goal is to change that. So now here's the issue when you run your business on your personal credit, okay? And as I said, I'm speaking to you from experience, and this is a fact. 46% of small businesses actually does that. Now, when it comes to your personal credit, watch this. And take some notes, because I'm going to be erasing some of these things as I go along in order to get to the rest of the stuff that I want to show you. So when it comes to personal credit and business credit, watch this, okay? So here's the reason why this is critical. If you're getting value, show some love in the chat. Here's why this is critical. On the personal side, okay? On the personal side, this is what you have. You have a pie, and it has 5 slices, okay? Right here is 35%, which is payment history, okay? This is payment history. Then you have 30%, which is usage, all right? Usage. For the usage, and then over here you have 15% being length of history, and then you have 10%. You have 10% here being new inquiries, all right, and then you have another 10% right here, which is credit mix, all right. So this is on the personal side. Is this making sense so far? Now here's the critical thing. We're going to talk about this part of it. So let's talk about this part, the usage part. Now, usage for your credit limit should be at a max of 30%. That's the recommendation. However, the best place to be is actually below 10%. You want to be below 10%. And if you want to be in the 800 club, you got to be below 6%. Okay? Now, because usage is such a big chunk, and you have 46% of small businesses running their business on their personal credit, what end up happening, the usage, it is high. So on the personal side, let's say this is usage. When you have the usage being high, what's going to happen? Your score, your credit score is going to be low. Okay? So on the personal side, when you have high usage with your credit limit, the score is going to be low because it's 30% of your score. And you never want to go above 30% of the limit. And your best place to be is below 10. If you want to be in the 800 club, you got to be below 6%. On the personal side, you want to be between 740 and 750. If you're not between 740 and 750, if your FICO is not there, you got to improve it, because that's where you really leverage the best. And now, even if you're within this range, once you hit this 30% marker, it's going to influence your score. It's going to impact it. You got to get it below that 10% to really keep it at this point. Is this making sense so far? Are you getting value? If you're getting value, show some love in the chat. Whatever questions you have, put them in the chat. On the business side, here's the big difference. On the business side, you have your Paydex, okay? You have your Paydex score. Your Paydex score, it goes from 1 to 100. you have a business credit score, and you got to be at 80 to really leverage your business credit. But even though a lot of people have 80, they are not funding. A lot of people may have the 80, but they are not funding compliant, okay? They're not funding compliant, okay? That's a challenge for a lot of people, and they don't have the profile. They don't have the credit profile that borrowers are looking for. So these things, they're missing these things. Even though some folks may have the paydex score that is required, they still don't have they're not funding compliant, and they don't have the profile that's going to allow them to do this. Watch this. Now on the business side, here's on the business side. So on the business side, this is your usage. See, as your usage goes up, so does the amount of capital that you have access to increases as well. So now this is usage that you have here. And as you continue to use more capital, in your business, you're going to have access to more capital. That's how it works. Unlike on the personal side, that the more you use, the lower your score. Over here, the more you use, the more capital you have access to. Is this making sense so far? Are you getting some benefits from this? So again, you got to understand the difference between the personal and the business side. So take a screenshot of this or record this real quick. I'm going to erase this so I can continue giving you some information. All right. So again, we're talking about business credit. So take a screenshot of that so you can have that information, and let me continue. So watch this. All right. So watch this. So watch this. On the business side, this is important. Now, in order to be funding compliant, remember now, 46% of small businesses run their business from their personal credit, and that's an issue. In order to be funding compliant, there are a few things that you got to do. Number one, you got to have a business. So you got to have an LLC, you got to have a C Corp, you got to have an S Corp, and I break these down all the time. I don't have to do it right now. Whether you want to put a DBA or a holding company, you name it. Number two, you need your EIN number. Your EIN number allows you to file taxes in the name of your business. Number three, you need a DUNS number, okay? The DUNS number is like your business SOCH that you need. Number four, you need a website, okay? You need a website. Now, the goal is to be funding compliant. Number five, you need a domain, okay? You need a domain. And number six, you need an email address that is tied to that domain. Number seven, you need an address. You need a physical address to tie your business to. So you need a physical address to tie your business to. Number eight, you need a bank account. Number eight, you need a bank account as well. Okay, you need a bank account. These are all things that you need for your business in order to take it to the next level. Number nine, you need the 411 registry. You need the 411 registry. Is this making sense? Is this making sense so far? All right, I want you to get this. Number 10, you also need a telephone number. You need a telephone number that is tied to your business. You need the business, you need the EIN for tax purposes, the DUNS number, which is like your business, so your website, your domain, your email. You need your physical address, you need your bank account, you need your 411 registry, and you also need a telephone number. Number 11, you also need to go through, you need vendors. So you need vendors in all four tiers, okay? There are 4 tiers of vendors that you're going to go through that you're going to need. And so these vendors, what they're giving to you is net 30 accounts. Is this making sense so far, guys? If this is making sense, show some love in the comment. Show some love in the chat. Are you getting value from this? Because I want you to get this information. I'm getting so many questions about it. So the net 30 accounts, what's the net 30 accounts? Well, this is a line of credit. It's a line of credit. So you get this line of credit, and you can use this line of credit and with different vendors. There are 4 tiers, and you have 30 days to pay back. You have 30 days to pay back the money that you use from the line of credit with no interest. For 30 days to pay back, okay? 30 days to pay back at 0% APR or 0% interest, okay? That's very important. That's very powerful. That's the reason why you need the vendors. 4 tiers, net 30 accounts, where you use the account, 30 days to pay it back, and there is 0 APR that you're gonna pay. Screenshot that. Let me keep going. Let me show you something here, because I want you to get the importance of this, because the real reason why you're doing this is the lack of capital. Now, in order for you to be funding compliant, there's one thing else that you gotta do. This is really, really important. And this is called the 1-3-5 strategy. You gotta fulfill this. You gotta fulfill this, okay? The 1-3-5 strategy. You gotta be sure that this is fulfilled as well. A lot of people reach out to me and they say, hey, I have a lot of these things and I got that done. I got my Paydex. So you gotta have your Paydex. Let me put this on the list too. Number 12, you gotta have your Paydex score. You could establish your DUNS number, but you don't have any Paydex. You've gotta have a Paydex score. And this gotta be at an 80, at least an 80. It goes from 1 to 100, okay? That is the issue that most people have. They told me they have most of these, but they don't have any Paydex. You know why? Because they haven't taken out the right vendors line of credit. They haven't opened accounts with the right vendors. The right vendors got to report to NAV. They got to report to Experian. They got to report to Trans. They got to report to DUNS. So the vendors that you're getting these net 30 from, or these vendors account from, they must report to NAV. They got to report. You can be sure they are reporting to NAV. Be sure they are reporting to Experian. Be sure they are reporting to DUNS. They got to be reporting to these companies in order to establish your Paydex score. Do you get that? I'm going to say that again. With all of these, when you get vendors credit going through all 4 tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, make sure that they report to NAV, they report to Experian, they report to DUNS. Because if they're not reporting to them, you won't have a Paydex score. So you could have established all of this 5 years ago. And then you don't know if you have a Paydex. You pull up and you don't have a Paydex, which means you're not funding compliant. You're not. Funding compliance. The most important reason why you're doing this is this. Let me put this in big caps. Most companies fail because of this. They don't have this. They don't have this. This is what you want. Without this, you can't run your business. You need capital. You need funding. That's the reason why you're doing all of this. But as you do that, you got to fulfill this strategy right here. This is a must. There is no wiggle room when it comes to this. You got to get this right. Let me get back here on the screen. Is this making sense to you? Are you getting value from this? Are you getting a lot of value? Show me. If you're getting value from this, let me see some love in the comment section. If you're getting value from this, then other people that you know that can benefit from this, you gotta tag them on this. This is powerful information. This is powerful information. This is a game-changing information. Because at the end of the day, you gotta be funding compliant. You gotta be able to get funding. A lot of people have their business and they ain't doing anything with it. Because what is the reason why you're not doing anything? Oh, I don't have the money. Oh man, it takes so much money. I don't have the money. There's the money out there. It's just about finding it, okay? And put your questions in the comment. I'm going to address those in a minute. So now you got to be funding compliant. You got to fulfill the 1-3-5 strategy. Let me tell you what these are. You got to have 5. So you got to have 5 vendors account. Okay? You got to have 5 vendors account that reports to NAV, Experian, and DUNS. 5 of them. Put 5 in the chat. If you heard that, put a 5 in the chat. If you heard what I said, put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. You got to have 5, okay? You got to have 5 vendors account that reports to NAV, Experian, and DUNS. Put 5 if you get it. Like, seriously, you got to get this. This is important. I don't want you getting off here and then at the end of the year you said, hey, Lyndon, you know what? I got my DUNS number, I got my EIN, I got all these things that you said, but I'm still not funding compliant. You got to follow this. You need 5 vendors account that reports to NAV, Experian, and DUNS so you can establish your Paydex score. Got it? Sweet. What is the second thing that you need? The second thing you need with this 3, what is this? What is this right here that you need? You actually need 3 business credit cards. Put that in the chat. If you heard what I said, put 3 business credit cards in the chat. You need 3 business credit cards. Okay? You need 3 business credit cards. How many business credit cards do you need? How many business credit cards do you need to fulfill the 1-3-5 strategy? You need 3 business credit cards. So not you going to Macy's and getting a store card. That's not what I'm talking about. You got to go to the place that's going to give you a business credit card. Lowe's or Home Depot or Staples or Target or Apple or Amazon. You need 3 business credit cards. Or you can do it at Costco as well. Costco does it too. All right? So you need 3 business credit cards. And this one right here, people, this is so critical. This, you don't want to miss this. You need 1, put this in the chat. You need 1 biz loan. Put that in the chat. 1 biz loan. How many biz loans you need? You need 1 biz loan. Put that in the chat for me. I want to be sure that folks are getting it. You need 1 biz loan. You need a biz loan. So you got to fulfill. This is mandatory. There's no wiggle room on this. 1-3-5. In order to be funding compliant, you need all of these things. You really do. But this 1-3-5, you got to master that. You got to get those 5 vendors that is reporting to NAV, Experian, and DUNS. You got to get the 3 business credit cards. You got to get 1 business loan as well. Okay? Are you getting value here? Is this making sense? I want to be sure that you're getting this. All right? Okay. Because the main reason for doing this is what? You got to get capital. You got to get funding. Most people's business fail because they don't have capital, the lack of capital, the lack of funding. And you can do so much and no more with your personal money on the personal side using your personal credit. I've seen this a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen. So let me get out of the way so you can take a screenshot of that real quick. Take a screenshot of that. Take a screenshot of that. Here's why this is important. This is important because of what? Because of this. All right? This is important because of this. I know you have been told differently. Okay? If you can see what I write on the board, type it in the chat. If you can see what I put on the board, type it in the chat. What did I just write on the board? What is this? If you can see this, put it in the chat for me. I want a group that is active this morning. I want to be sure we are communicating. I don't just want to speak at you. I want to have a conversation with you. The real reason for all of this is this. Who sees what I put on the board? What is this? What is this that I put on the board? That's it. The American dream. You got it. This is important. The American dream is not owning a house, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. We built one from the ground up. It was great and it's fantastic. It's a great accomplishment and it does have equity, a lot of equity in it. So it's a beautiful thing. But that is not the American dream. Someone says the ring light is blocking them. Let me change it a little. Is that better? Let's see. Is that better? Is that still in the way? All right, that's better. That's better. Is that better? The ring light is out the way right now for you? Sweet. All right, sweet. So this is really why you're doing it. The American dream. It's not owning a house. It's not. It's a good piece of it. It's a good part of the puzzle. I'm just keeping it real this morning. Okay? So here's the thing. Let me show you why all of this is critical. Let's get here. It is critical because of this. It's critical because of this. What is this? What's that? What's that? How many people on here have ever heard that term before? What is that? What is this? This is tax deductions. Tax deductions. That's the real reason why you do it, because there are amazing tax deductions for small businesses. You can write off as a business owner. Did you know this? Everyone that I say, if you did, let me see you put a yes in the chat. Let me ask you some questions. Give me a second. Let's get this right. Give me a second. All right. All right, sweet. Let me ask you this. Did you know that as a business owner, you can write off 100% of your business meal? Did you know that? If you knew that, put a yes in the chat. Did you know as a business owner, a small business owner, whether you have a home-based business, whether you're a 1099 independent contractor, whether you have an online business, whether you have drop shipping, whether you have a gift where you do some products, whether you do some body products, some health, wellness, and fitness, you are a motivational speaker, you are a consultant, you're into health, wellness, and fitness, you do LASIK, you're a veterinarian, you do some kind of dentistry, you do HVAC, you're into construction. Did you know that you can write off 100% of your business meals? Put a yes in the chat if you did. Number two, and please just roll with me. I want you to participate. Number two, did you know that you can write off 100% of travel expenses or vacation? Did you know that? You can write off 100% of travel expenses or vacation. Did you know that? 100%. You're going to be like, how is that possible? It is possible. All you got to do is go on vacation. And when you go on vacation, each day, if you do at least 4 hours of business related stuff on your vacation, I'll say that again. Each day, if you do at least 4 hours of business related stuff, you can write off 100% of your vacation. Number three, did you know you can write off 100% of advertising, marketing, and branding? Did you know? You can write off 100% of advertising, marketing, branding, and promoting. Did you know that? 100%. Sweet. Okay. Number four, did you know that you can write off the startup cost for your business, your small business, up to 5K? Did you know that? Did you know you can write off the startup cost of your business up to 5K? Did you know that? No, you didn't? All right, sweet. We ain't even done yet. Watch this. Did you know that you can write off clients and employees' entertainment? All right. Did you know you can write off clients and employees' entertainment? Did you know that? So let's say this. Check this out. This is cool. Let's say you're going to go meet a client in Vegas and you live in California. Let's say you live in Miami. So you live in Miami, you're going to meet a client in Vegas, and so you got to fly to Vegas. So you fly to Vegas and you got to have a hotel stay. You got to book a plane to get out there. You're going to eat meals. Everything that you do on your own, everything you do on that entire trip is written off. Everything. The airfare, the hotel, the meals. But here's the thing. Let's say you go to a Broadway show. Let's say you go to a Broadway show with a client. You can write off the Broadway show. Let's say you go to a movie. You can write it off. Let's say you take the client bowling. You can write it off. Let's say you go golfing with the client. You can write it off. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You can write it off. You go to these places for entertainment with a client because you went on a business trip. Everything that you did to get there is written off. Plus the entertainment that you had to do to entertain the client as a part of business to closing the deal or to keep the relationship going or build the business is written off. I'm a tax guy. I know this. I'm not making this up. I know this. Here's the other thing that you may not know. Did you know that as a business owner, you can write off 100% of business interest and bank fees. So let's say you got a loan. You got a loan for 50 grand in the name of your business, and it comes with an APR of 5%. Not only you can write off the entire loan and you can write off the interest. Are you hearing this? It's a business loan. So you're not just going to write off what you got in the name of the business, but you're writing off the APR as well. If you have any credit cards, business credit cards, you can write off the fees, the interest and bank fees tied to that credit card as well, because this is business. Did you know that? I tell you, man, this is powerful stuff. Here's the other thing. All right, take this. What do we have back here? All right, take this notes. Take some notes on this. Take a screenshot of this, and let me move to the other side. I'm going to give you something real solid that you didn't know, or maybe you did. Maybe you saw it. You're trying to figure out how it works and why people do it. Again, if you're not following me, go right ahead and click follow. Okay? If you're not following me, go right ahead and click follow. Watch this. Watch this. Here's the thing. Here's the other thing that you can write off. The other thing that you can write off is 100%. Watch this. 100% of your vehicle depreciation value. People are like, what? Yes. You can write off 100% of your vehicle's depreciation value or depreciated value. But the vehicle got to fulfill certain requirement. Number one, it has to be a minimum of 6,000 pounds. All right? Number one. Number two, the vehicle has to be a maximum. It got to be a maximum of 14,000 pounds. Okay? Number three, these three things are extremely important. Number three, I'm going to give you four. Number three, the vehicle must go into operation. It must go into operation the year that you purchase the vehicle. The vehicle must go. Are you getting value here? Have you ever heard this before? The vehicle has to go into operation the same year that you purchase the vehicle. And number four, the vehicle must be used for business purposes. It must be used for business purposes. Again, 100% of your vehicle's depreciated value. It got to be a minimum of 6,000 pounds. It got to be a maximum of 14,000 pounds. It must go into operation the year you purchase it. And number four, it got to be used for business purposes. Now, what kind of vehicles fulfill those requirements? You may be saying, well, what kind of vehicles are those? Well, let's talk about that. What kind of vehicles fulfill that requirement? Well, number one, a Porsche Cayenne fulfills that. So you could get a Porsche Cayenne and that vehicle fulfills that. You can get also a Range Rover. If you're in construction, you can get a pickup truck, whether a Delaney, you can get one of those, you can get maybe one of those F-150s, but it gotta be between 6,000 and 4,000. So the Porsche Cayenne is one, the Range Rover Sport is one, the Jeep Grand Wagoner is one, the Jeep Grand Wagoner is another one. You also have the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, which is the truck. You also have the Lambo SUV, which is another option. You have the Infiniti QX80, which is another option. You have the Mercedes-Benz model as well, the SUV. You also have the Audi Q7, and you have the BMW X5, and you have the Bentley Bentayga. Okay? Those are vehicles that you can use. So once again, the vehicle has to fulfill, it has to be used for the purpose of your business. Food truck, between 6,000 and 14,000. Between 6,000 and 14,000. As long as it's used for the purpose of your business, you can't just get it and say it's business, but you don't have a business, or you don't run a business. You don't do any business. Okay. I know you thought you were going to get just what was on the back, what is here, but I wanted to break this down. 100% of vehicles depreciated value, minimum 6,000, maximum 14, must be put into operation the same year you purchase, and it got to be used for business purpose. And now these, and I'm just giving you some. This is not all of it. You can write off technology. You can write off your phone bill. You can write off your internet bill. You can write off your rent if you have a physical space. You can write off a portion of your home, the space that you use for your business, home-based business. You can write off a portion of your rent. You can write off your renter's insurance. You can also deduct all these things. You can deduct all these things, any kind of essentials, any kind of supplies. You can deduct all of these things. So there is a beauty in this. It is the real American dream, ladies and gentlemen. Understand that. Did you get some value this morning? Was that value for you? Did you get some value? All right, let me go in the chat and see what we got. Let me run through some questions. Again, if you're not following me, go right ahead and click follow. What are the questions that you have? Let me just run through and see questions that you have so we can wrap this up. Did you get some value? If you got value this morning, show some love. If you got value, blow up the chat for me. Blow up the comment. Can we go back to the vendor's account and what they are? So the vendor's account is like Quill. It's like Fuelman. Those are some of the vendor's account. It's like Amazon, Staples. You also have Uline. You also have Target. All of those are vendor's account that you can have. Okay. How do we get high limit cards? To get high limit cards, you got to build what? Personal or business? You got to have good credit score to get high limit cards. You got to build personally. And then on the business side, you got to build your business credit to eventually get high credit limit. It's not magic, guys. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter how people let it look. Like you can just jump in a system or a box and pick it out. It doesn't work like that. You got to build that thing. I'm giving you the real. I'm giving you the substance of what it's going to take. But you got to build the foundation first. This is not a quick fix. Anything that you fix quick is gonna break quick. All right. So can you explain the vendor's account? So the vendor's account is like Quill, Fuelman. It's like Uline. It's like Nav. It's like Shirts Z that makes shirts and supplies and all of that. It's like Amazon. You also have Staples. You have Target. You have Lowe's. You have Home Depot. All these are vendors. And so you get vendors account with them. They are net 30 accounts, a lot of them. And these net 30 accounts, you have 30 days when you use any money from that line of credit that they extended to you to actually pay them back at no interest. It's a glare I can't see. Got it. I think I fixed that. Okay. There's a reflection. I think I fixed that. American dream. Yes, the American dream, ladies and gentlemen. Tag some people that you know going to benefit from this. Can you provide a list of vendors, credit cards, and loans? I can. There's a ton. There are thousands, but I just gave you some just now. One of the things that you want to do, you want to be sure to enroll in that business credit program. What you can do for no money down, what it's going to do is going to help you with your business credit, your personal credit, and it's going to guarantee $50,000 in funding. It's going to make you funding compliant to get that 50 grand. And then from there, you can go out and apply for millions of dollars. You know, it's a process, but the process is well worth it. I have a link in my bio for the business credit program. You get in that. And then by next year, your life is going to be different. You know, don't just say I have a business, I don't want business credit, and you're expecting to get the business credit magically. No, you're expecting to get funding magically. No, it doesn't work like that. Not even, investors don't even invest like that. No, in order for you to get there, you got to build it. It takes time. You're going to need 3 to 6 months, depending on where you are. It could be longer than that. But the bottom line is when you're done, you're going to be funding compliant and you're going to have access to capital. If I have an LLC and I'm a home renter, are there any benefits when it comes to tax deductions? You're a home renter, as in you're renting. Hold on. Who is this? El Compa, Chile. What does that mean? Does it mean that you are renting from someone where you live, or you rent out houses? What are you saying? In either case, you can deduct. Yeah, you got a lot of deductions in either ways, but I wasn't sure. Just if you could just break that down for me, I appreciate it. Vendor's account or net 30 Uline is good one for the business. There's plenty of them. Just type in net 30 accounts in Google. It will bring up a lot. But the program that I have is going to give you access to a database with thousands of them. Not only that, it's going to give you access to the ones that report to NAV, DUNS, and Experian. If you're getting vendors line of credit and they ain't reporting, it's no benefit to you. You just say you have it, but is it reporting? Have you set up your DUNS account? Have you set up your business credit profile? All of that. So you got to get that done. Click the link in my bio and go get the program and get it and do it. Who is going to know if I did 4 hours of work, none my vacation? Your sanity is going to know. You see, it's not a matter of who is going to know. It's a matter of if you get audited, can you prove? See, that's the thing. You always want to do things the right way. In the event it comes back and bites you. See, the IRS is one entity you can't hide from. Even if you get away for 10 years, I promise you, they're watching you. I can tell you that. So who is going to know? You're going to know. So when you file your taxes and when you go to your accountant and you said, I went on a vacation and I did business for 4 hours a day, show enough proof that shows that you're doing 4 hours a day of business. Show you may have to write a statement. It is your word. If you want to say you did 4 hours and you didn't do it, then that's your problem. Just do things the right way that you never have to worry about it. Okay? It's funny that you asked that. But again, who is this? Let me see who asked that question. And I'm sure you're asking from a genuine place, Julia, the realtor. But again, always do things the right way, man. Just do it so you don't have to worry about it. You can always be audited when it comes to the IRS. You may get away with something for 5 years. And on the 10th year, they hit you up. The 6th year, they hit you. They're always watching. You see, the IRS looks for inconsistencies. That's what they look for, inconsistencies. So that's another reason why a lot of people got audited when it comes to the IRS. Yes, I am an employee. You're an employee of what? Miss Loving, you're an employee? You're an employee? All right, start a business. Start an LLC, start a home-based business, start a DBA, start something. It doesn't matter. You just find a way to start a business. Become a business owner. Live the American dream. Can you move back? Who is that? Jahala. I'm sorry, I was in your way. Okay. That stuff saved me big time 2 years ago. What stuff? Dan, the KY man. What stuff saved you? Even car rentals. What do you mean? Car rentals. Like you rent a car on a business trip? Yeah. Anything that has to do with the trip. God, thanks. I thought I knew something. Hey, there's no monopoly on knowledge, man, or information. You'll never know everything. It's okay. I don't know everything. Sure, people on here are like, oh, this guy don't know a lot. It's okay. I know quite a bit, but I don't know everything. It's okay if you know more than I do. So when you write it off, do you get that money spent back? It's a deductions. So because it's a deduction, you're going to reduce the tax liability of your company. Because it's a deduction, you're reducing the taxable profits, the taxable income, the taxable liability of your company. So instead of you being taxed on $1 million, you're taxed on $250,000. There's a major difference. Okay? The goal is, let me say this. Where is it? Let me write this. Here's the goal. The real goal is this. Let me write it in blue. Let me tell you, this is the real goal. The real goal is to minimize tax. The real goal is to minimize taxes legally. The real goal is to minimize taxes legally. Okay? Don't forget that. The real goal is to minimize taxes legally. There's nothing wrong with Amazon paying $0 in taxes. They're $1 trillion company, correct? $0 in taxes. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the American dream. It really is. They provide products and services. They employ people. They give a lot to philanthropy. That's the way it is, man. You just got to do it yourself, too. Don't complain about it. Just find a way to also benefit from the system that's in place. That's the reason why you got to be a business owner. Don't just go work for someone 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 is to stop you from looking and accomplish your dream. It really is. It does allow you to pay the bills. That's okay. I was very successful in corporate America. I'm not beating against it. I'm just saying it's a low-hanging fruit that is dangled in front of you so that it blocks your vision from your true purpose. Some people got to work. I understand it. You got people for all different facets of life. But if you have a vision, you have a goal, you have a dream, stop allowing your 9 to 5 to prevent you from getting it. Sometimes you got to go broke to get your breakthrough. Sometimes you got to break down in order to get your breakthrough. Understand, without risk, there is no accomplishment. Without risk, there's not success. Without risk, there's no growth. Without risk, it wouldn't be worth it. But it's worth it. But I would imagine all those expenses and purchases need to be made with a business credit card. No, it doesn't have to. If you have any card wherewith you can show that it is for the purpose of your business, it doesn't have to be a business credit card. You can also write those off too. Can you turn it back around? Who is this? MPay, MC Pay, Mac Pay. I think, did I mess up already? I think I may have erased some stuff and all of that. If you need me to turn back, let me know. What about the Tesla X? Yeah, the Tesla X, the SUV, yes, that qualifies. The minimum 6,000, less than 14. What are the business purposes going inventory? What are the business purposes going inventory shopping? To buy supplies like for restrooms and your office, clean your desk and clean the place, let it smells good and all of that, like these markers that I'm using, maybe this microphone that I have here, this eraser. I mean, all of this is for the business, isn't it? It is. Can you explain how write-off works? It's not just how it works. You got to work with your tax professional to really do it right. You have a Schedule C where you can put in all your expenses, but at the same time, you can file your business tax depending on whether or not you have an LLC, you have an S Corp, you have a C Corp, and how it's structured. But yes, there are parts in the tax. Don't just do your taxes, man. Get a professional to help you with your taxes. Most people make mistakes with their taxes and get audited because they do it themselves and think they're saving themselves. No, you're not saving yourself. You're actually saving when you get the professional to do it. If you get a professional to do your taxes for you, you pay them $1,000 and you end up paying $3,000 less in taxes, it's well worth it. It's about how you look at it. So that's the reason why a lot of people get audited and hold taxes, because they want to use the free softwares. They want to do it on their own. Get a professional, man. Why do it when their professionals can do it? It's just the way you take your car to the auto mechanic so they can fix it. I mean, you could go Google it and figure out how to do it, but get it to the professional. So you are saying this will take a year to accomplish? No, I'm not saying that. But if it does take a year, well, why not? If it takes a year, cool, because if you don't do it, it's going to take you forever, correct? If you don't get it started, it's going to take you forever. If you get it started and it takes you a year, so what? Just like a lot of people live with bad credit for 20 years and 10 years, and then they want me to help them fix their credit in 2 weeks. No, I don't do that. I don't promise you that. That's not possible. But what if it takes a year? This leads me to a valid point. And here's the point. A lot of people overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year, and they underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. You see that? People overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year, and they underestimate what they can in 10 years. What if it takes a year? It's well worth it, because if you never do it, it's going to take you a lifetime. It's not going to happen anyways. But if it takes you a year, it's well worth it because of the benefits. You're creating what? Generational wealth. You're building a legacy, correct? You're changing the status quo. You're positioning your kids to be in a better position than you are. You are here to teach us the right way. You're not here to teach. No, I'm not. No, I'm not here to tell you what sounds good. Forget that. I don't overpromise and underdeliver. I'll tell you it's going to take you 6 months to a year to get your credit right, and it took you 3 months. What are you going to do? Now you're going to see me as a king, okay? But when I tell you it's going to happen in 2 weeks and it took you 5 months, then you start complaining even though you knew it wasn't realistic. It's like you trying to cook. It's like you trying to make a Thanksgiving meal in 5 minutes. It's not possible. I mean, you can put it together, but it ain't going to taste good. Just be real, okay? Can I book a Q&A with you? Yeah, jump on the link in my bio. You'll see where to book that session. Give me some ideas on business. There's plenty of ideas. What's your skill set? What is your gifts? What do you enjoy doing? Sometimes it's not just what you enjoy doing or what is your skill set, but you got to look at where the demand is. How can you tap into the current market? What can you provide where there's a need? Can you provide a service where there's a need? Can you provide a service where there's a need? Ladies, 82% of women in America and across the world make 6 figures from home-based business, not a job. 82% of women, listen to this. This is real stats. Go Google it. 82% of women making 6 figures do so from home-based business, not through corporate America. So what do you like to do? What do you enjoy doing? What is your purpose? If you haven't defined your purpose yet, then you figure it out. You got to pray about it. Like seriously, regardless of your belief, go pray on it. Sometimes you got to write it down. You got to take inventory of your whole life to see where you are. Or what are you passionate about? Do you enjoy working the job you're working right now? Are you more miserable than you are at peace? All of those things has to do with it. You get what I'm saying? And there's a need for your community. There's a need in your family. All of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of ideas. You can go in NFTs. You can go into Forex. You can go in the stock market. You can go into investments. You can do real estate investment. You don't have to get a license to go into real estate investment. Click the link in my bio. You see a real estate investment program that you can actually do. The same thing you see in HGTV with accept the celeb, and then you can afford it and go into you can flipping businesses. You can buy and hold or sold, all of that. I don't have a 1099 now. The IRS is accusing me. What do you mean? You don't have a 1099? If you don't have, do you have a business? Do you work for someone that, say you're an independent contractor, but you don't have a 1099? It all depends. Life, right. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you for all the information today. What if I start a business but not making any money right away? Cool. Most businesses don't make any money right away when they start it. It's nothing unique to you, man. Who is this? Nail Cree. Nail Cree seemed like a female. So what? Most businesses don't make any money when they start right away. Did you know that most businesses fail within the first year? Did you know that most businesses never make it to 3 years? Did you know that most businesses don't break even until between the 3rd and 5th year? Break even. So most businesses don't get into profits until after the 5th year. It's just because we're in a new era right now where you have online business. You can do drop shipping, you can do Amazon business, you can do network marketing, you can do affiliate marketing, you can do all these other businesses that you can start for $1,000, for $500, for $300, and then you see immediate profits. But this is not the norm. It's just a space that allows you to see profits real quick because the initial investment is very low. I have people that starts a business for $300 and make $7 million over 6.5 years. Not everybody does it. Have people on the team that have gone from homeless to making multiple 6 and multiple 7 figures in 4 years, in 4.5 years. All of this happened and all they invested was $300. It's not for everybody, but it is actually for everybody. So it all depends, man. How long should you sit at a tier 1 before you start acquiring credit cards? You know, what kind of credit cards you have secured? It all depends on where you are with your reporting and your paydex score and how long you've had the tier 1. But all of this, you can do one for 2 months, then the other for a couple months, or every month you can shift up to the tiers. But you got to be consistent. You got to be aggressive on what you're doing. Tax deduction is an offset to high income, not just income, profits. It's tax deduction is the key to reducing your taxable profits, your taxable income. It minimizes taxes. That's what it is. Whatever you're taxed on, it's not necessarily income, but yeah, that's cool. Effective touch method, massage, cool. Yeah, that's cool. All right, education is, yes, that's deductible too. If you have a business, any kind of education that you go into that is to fulfill the purpose of your business, that's also deductible. How long does it take to complete the 531? The 531, you can do all of this depending on where you are with your business right now and build and your business profile. You could do this in 6 months. Okay, you can do all of that in 3 to 6 months. It's possible. How do you get a professional? What kind of professional? Moitba. What kind of professional to do what? Best quote. What is the time? What is the difference between LLC, S corp? Who is asking this? Caitlin Mayers. And how I've done so many sessions on businesses, LLCs, S corp, C corp, and DBAs, holding companies. How do you have them owned by the trust? Which one got to be international? Which one can be international? Or the number of members. All right, Caitlin, is this your first time jumping on my live? If it is, jump on my live again. I'm going to go back through. I'm going to do a live on that this week. I'm not going to go through that right now, but I'll do a live on businesses, S corp, C corp, LLC, advantages, disadvantages, benefits, and what you got to do and why you do it. Can you revive an old LLC you stop using, or if it's still available? You may have had an LLC before active and you're no longer using it. And because you're no longer using it, when someone goes in to get the name, they see that it's available and they take it. So it all depends. Just check back your state database to see if it's still available. And if it is, yeah, you can do that. And think about it. Do you still want to do it in that name, or do you want to do a brand new name? It all depends on the history that you had and what you did or did not do with that company. Make sense? All right. The tax preparer used a previous year's 1099 as the past year. Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, yes. I'm telling you, the IRS, they look for inconsistency. The biggest alarm to the IRS is inconsistency. Inconsistency. You could be doing everything right, but then you've been using one tax person, then you change. They look you up. Inconsistency is the biggest red flag when it comes to the IRS. And just know that people get audited every single year. It's not just you. People get audited all the time. So don't freak out when you do. I understand. But yeah, will a BMW X6 fit? Yeah, it does. X5, X6. Yeah. When is your next live? I do my live every single day. I do my live every day, 8:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, between 8:25 a.m. and 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go work out and I come inside here and I give it to you. All right. I'm giving you a lot of free information that you won't get elsewhere. Understand, don't take this information and this time for granted. The information that I provided to you is powerful. Knowledge is not power. The execution of the knowledge that you have is power. A lot of people know a lot and they'll do a little. There's no power in that. A lot of people know a little and they do a lot with the little that they know. Understand, that's where power is. You see, don't blame yourself for being born poor. Don't blame your parents either. Take responsibility. Make the decision to create and generate generational wealth, because you can break generational curse and you can create generational abundance. You can also erase the status quo, but it is with you. Your circumstances don't determine your destiny. It's the decisions and the choices that you make. A lot of people have been beaten down by life so much that they give up on their dreams and their vision. The vision is not the problem. The real problem is that they can't see themselves in the picture of their future. And so what you got to do, you got to expand your imagination. The good book says, unless you be like a child, you should not enter the kingdom. What that means, you want to look at it as success, your purpose, winning, become a multimillionaire, whatever terminology you want to use. The bottom line is, stop living outside in, live inside out. Can you see it? Can you envision it? Because if you do, eventually you're going to touch it. But understand, without consistency, there's no result. Without consistency, you won't be successful. Without consistency, you won't break through. But sometimes you got to break down and you got to break and you got to go broke in order to get your breakthrough. Understand that, okay? So this is not just about credit, guys. This is not just about the numbers. This is about your mindset. It doesn't matter what I tell you. It doesn't matter how many times I give it to you, unless you make up in your mind that you're going to run with it. You absolutely won't get the breakthrough that you want. Is this making sense? I don't want to spit out a lot at you just now in a short period of time, but I want you to understand the power of what you're getting right now. Don't take this for granted, okay? People don't appreciate free. Big up you something. I came across you live. Just going through TikTok live. I found you. Yeah, I was born in Jamaica. First time I see you exit information. All right, guys. So again, man, I do this every day between 8:25 and 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes I jump on here in the evenings as well. I do a special session on Sundays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 3:30 p.m. Eastern